Everyone knows the story. If you don't know the story, then you're just like a newbie. You're just not keeping up with things. Um, I'm in communications. I've been in communications for like 20 years. When Prime Star got bought out by DirecTV, I converted pretty much all of Southern California. I was doing, me and my dad, rest in peace, we're doing like 3, 4 jobs, 5 jobs a day. Real simple. You get to the job site, you switch out the receivers, the black boxes inside the house. You eliminate any barrels because it's a one coax system, single coax, and Prime Star was dual, which made it great because you could manipulate everyone's house wiring. So you just eliminate the barrels and then direct the cabling to the proper receivers, and then you would take off the big dish, and with self-tapping screws, you would right away just self-tap the new dish right onto the old mount, right onto it. Just self-tap it in there. Easy, easy money. Great jobs. We were doing like 4 or 5 jobs a day. On a slow day, it would be 3 of those. And I can't count how many times I went on top of a building, and I'm like, oh, I didn't bring, I didn't take up the meter, or I didn't take up the compass with the azimuthal positions on it. And I would just go up there, and then I would look like 3, 4, 5 houses down, buildings away, blocks away sometimes, and I would see which way they're pointing, and I would just off of line of sight of what their, and then so it started occurring to me. These are all parallel. There's that big space in between. Like, it's impossible that there's something, there's a UFO in space, and it's bigger than the sky, because 3 blocks away I can see another parabolic antenna is pointed in the same direction. I can go over there and check it. It's gonna be the same elevation. It's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same azimuthal position. So moving forward, I was already questioning questioning all of these things, because I had came from Pacific Bell before I went into parabolic, and then after I went cable TV, telephony. I was on the field. I climbed the poles. I loved it. Had a great time. Awesome time, hanging upside down like Spider-Man. It was a great time. So I moved on to the IBW, and I started learning about, theory and in communications, because here's where they'll tell you that their information that we're working on is something that you're being told. It's part of their patent and part of the technology that they control financially. That is called proprietary information. So they could tell you anything they want to tell you to protect the actual technology and patent behind their communication systems. And being that they're federal and they're in control of communications in general, they don't have to tell you how it works or what's going on. They don't have to. They're gonna tell you all kinds of crazy stories, and then you're gonna sit there and point the dish, and you're gonna use same elevation, same zip code, same azimuthal position. If the mass is a completely 100%, totally, absolutely leveled, it's parallel. So I already know this, and I've already been in communications for a while, and I'm in the IBW, and I'm learning about all this other. I started learning about Marconi, and I'm like, wow, this, the way they were doing things back then. There was no codes. It was all just playing around with wires and antennas, and they were just experimenting wildly. They had no idea what they were doing. They're just like doing anything to do it, just to test it, see how it worked. And as I sat on top one day of Friendship Park in San Pedro, it's a really nice, beautiful park. You could go out there. It's one of the lovers. It's a lovers lane park. You go all the way to the top. They have the nice picnic tables, and you could look out, and you see the port of Los Angeles. You see the Pacific Ocean. At nighttime, it's really dark. You see the stars. It's a beautiful park, especially at night. But I was there during the day, and I was sitting there, and I'm looking across, and I'm like thinking, how did Marconi send signals across the Atlantic? How did that happen? You know, and then I'm looking, and it's right there in my face. It's like, it's flat. I mean, that's what theory, communications. That's how it works over flat Earth. That's what we learn in school. You learn that communications runs flat, and curvature causes a problem. That's what they teach you. So as I'm looking across, I'm like, but there's no curvature, and it just dawned on me that all these years I had been just like that, with a big slap. It just slapped me, bah! Like, Simon, look. Do you see what we see now? And then I started thinking about the compass and the azimuthal. The azimuthal compass is based on the azimuthal map projection. I already know these things. The azimuthal map projection is the flat Earth map, the flat Earth model map that everyone's using. It's not really a map; it's a model. Get your shit straight, everyone. Maps and models are they're not the same. A map may be a model, but a model may not be a map. It's not the same thing. It doesn't work like that. Okay? The globe, Earth globe, differs. You'll take the Earth globe from what they're teaching in Africa and compare it to the Earth globe that they're teaching in the schools here in the United States, and you will see that there's a big difference on the land placements and the continents and who's bigger. What it's not. Those are all the Earth globe has been used is not the correct map. That's not what they've used for navigation. It's not. It hasn't been. Navigation was made on flat maps as they crossed the ocean. No one drew nothing on a watermelon or a ball. No one drew nothing. It was on a flat map. They were using the compass, which is flat. They were using the sextant, which is flat. They were using as they were drawing out the maps, it was flat. There's no curvature. There never has been. And I'm sitting there looking at this, and I'm thinking about the azimuthal projection, the azimuthal compass, and it just made sense. Earth is flat, and they lied to me. They lied. Without a doubt, man. I know. I've been in the IB from Pacific Bell all the way to IBW. I've been in the best fucking places. Even before that, I went to ITT. So don't sit there and tell me like you're gonna try and school me on something, because you're not. I spent a lot of time fucking studying. I used to walk down the street and fucking carrying my books and shit, and doing all kinds of other crazy young adult life, teenage life, teenagers do crazy shit. Lots of fun. But I carried those books with me. I kept reading and I kept studying. Science has always been big for me. I used to be a Newtonian. I was a hardcore Newtonian. Newton was one of my favorite fucking scientists ever. That's why I know so much about him. When I learned he was just an insane occultist. That's when and to top it off with learning about all this communications and sitting on top of Friendship Park, looking at the Pacific Ocean and saying it's not it's not curved, it's flat. That's how he sent those signals across. That's why other dishes are parallel. It's real simple. It just made perfect sense. Sorry, Globetrotters. I mean, you guys can keep spreading around government propaganda, because I know all about government propaganda. Communications, you learn about propaganda, because that's what's behind communications, is the fact that that people could spread propaganda. So that's where all of this comes down to. Globetrotters, you keep saying and keep trying to spread, all that government propaganda and shit. Those are not your eyes. That's not your thoughts. Those are not your concepts. Those are not your ideals. None of that came from you. You're repeating a script, and it has nothing to do with what you observe. In actual reality, what you observe is a flat Earth. That's what you observe. Okay? That's just it. That's the truth. And communications further proves that point. There's no way in the globe world that Marconi would have sent signals across the Atlantic with curvature in 1901. 1901. Parabolic antennas had just came out in 1888. So don't tell me that there's like some government UFOs in space, because there's not. Those Those antenna are parallel. They're just antenna like all the other antennas. Get over it.